I saw the live action How to Train Your Dragon designs for the dragon specifically. I don't care about the human casting hot take. But I saw the dragons and I'm like, oh, these look awful. Dragons the Nine Realms. I am so fucking sorry. I'm gonna get to scripting a video about these guys to explain my problems. And you know what? I'm a newly made creature artist with the Vern and stuff. I've always drawn dragons from this franchise. I can do this. And then I proceeded to not do any of that, not even get a script started, but instead rant to my therapist about this. So I think that that gives a pretty good threshold about the fact that I'm not normal, and I will not pretend to be normal about this. So I'm just gonna go off about this. This is the 5th time I am trying to record this because I kept getting too heated about it. Which probably still gonna happen, but I wanna try and be constructive about this to some degree, right? Because I don't think the designs are inherently bad, but they are a bad adaptation of the source material. And the biggest thing about that for me is how different all the other dragons are compared to Toothless. I get that it is a marketing move because Toothless is just that iconic that they didn't want to change his design that much, but I would argue the iconicness of the other dragons is also really important, so where are we removing that from them, but keeping it on to Toothless? Why are we leaving the single dragon so unique and cartoony, but everything else has to change? Oh, Barf and Belch can't have long and skinny necks. Oh, the Monstrous Nightmare can't have its original jaw. Why are we doing that? But we're keeping Toothless exactly the same, except making it look like he has moss on his fucking skills. I don't know, right? I don't know. It pisses me off, personally, on a level that I cannot quite describe to you. Another thing that pisses me off is that the original How to Train Your Dragon designs are so well designed. And you wouldn't even think about it, because that's the point of a design. When you look at it, you're supposed to go, oh yeah, no, this works, this fits, so you don't question it. So your sense of God, what's the term? So it's you can suspend your disbelief, right? So when these wild-ass, angry-ass dragons turn from, we'll literally rip your face off, rip you apart limb from limb, to cuddly little things, you don't question it in the original movie, because the designs are stylized, and they're stylized appropriately, so they look like they just want to cuddle, but they also switch to being really scary, really super fucking fast, when it needs to be. The main example is when Hiccup, has to kill the Monstrous Nightmare, before the climax of the movie, and the Monstrous Nightmare goes from intimidating to curious to friendly, and then right the fuck back to intimidating, snaps right the fuck back. And then all of Toothless, the designs are excellent. They can just snap back and forth convincingly. And that's obviously animation work, a lot of it, yes, but also design work. It is, because design conveys something. A design plays a role into how you're gonna animate something, into its personality. You kind of want those to match, even if in a weird way. But the live action designs, I say live action, no, they're CGI. They're not puppeting. If they were puppeting, they would have been, but no, they're CGI. Everything in this fucking movie, except the fucking humans, is CGI. As far as I've been fucking made aware. But yeah, no, if it was all puppeting, I would have had so many less problems with them, because, at some point, you can only do so much with a puppet when you're working with real-world limitations. But no, these things are CGI. You can quite literally do whatever you want. Also, I don't want to get any, oh, it's supposed to look realistic. Well, okay. Even if it was, right, let's pretend that that's what it's supposed to be. Why is Toothless still so cartoony? And why are we doing such a fantastical premise into live action? Why? Is it because we think that cartoons are for... Yeah, it's because we think cartoons are for kids. Why else would we be doing this? I need an actual legitimate answer that doesn't sway to the default of, oh, it makes it immediately more mature. Bitch, it's gonna be the exact same fucking story. Nothing's gonna change. The only thing that's gonna change is that there's gonna be actual people, but everything else still gonna be animated. So what's the difference? Is it a different style of animation? Yeah, but it's still animation at the end of the fucking day. Here's the thing, if it was puppeting, again, I would not be speaking because at least you're using a different medium, and that medium has actual restraints, unlike CGI, which, by the way, making an entire movie, and primarily in CGI, except for the human actors that guarantee you the money's coming in, that along with the nostalgia bait, is so shitty. CGI was not made to animate live action movies. It was made to be another effect that you could do to live action movies. Like, for example, in a lot of movies with dogs in them, dogs are so excited that they're doing a good job acting that they can't, their tails are constantly wagging. So you have to, like, CGI that out. That's what CGI is meant for. It's another tool. It's not like animation where you can animate the entire thing. And you know what? Maybe you would be able to. And that would have been fine if you wanted to. If you paid the people enough, but that's not even the case. It is literally just a cheaper, kind of like how 2D animation was phased out for 3D animation, because 3D animation was new and wasn't unionized back then, so they couldn't fucking complain. Meanwhile, 2D animators could, and they were protected. It's a similar thing with CGI. I think that's what I'm getting, at least. So, congratulations, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Fucking guess. Also, this is like a side thing, but what the hell have they done to my baby? The terrible terror? Look at this. This sparks joy. This is incredible. This is amazing. This just looks like shit. And before anybody asks my opinions about the human actors, I said this at the start, I will say this again. I don't care about the human casting. None of my business, honestly. Oh no, there's more inclusivity now in the industry. More people are getting work. Slay. That's kind of all I have to say on that. Slay, more people are getting work. Fan-fucking-tastic. But with that, my thoughts are done. I've ranted about this, and thank you for listening to me go on for however long this was. No, you probably didn't care, but I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. I hope my little crash out was, like, enjoyable or whatever. I will see you next time, whenever that is. I am better than making promises I know I'm not gonna live up to.